All right, guys, welcome to the live stream. How are you guys doing today? Welcome to Friday's stream. Got my coffee here. You guys might know these guys. Anybody know who this is? Roll Off Family Farms. Thanks a lot, Steadfast. Okay, we're just gonna settle in, guys. Let you guys get in the chat. Everybody get comfy, grab some coffee. Maybe you're having a little bit of extra in your coffee today. If it is Friday after all. Yep, that's right. You guessed it, Steve. I met those guys at the farm. We've gone there a couple times. I met Matt. I met his wife. Talked to his wife for quite a while. She's actually super down to earth and laid back. She's kind of in the same situation I am here in Oregon. I'm no longer with my kid's mother. We separated a couple years ago, and she's kind of in a similar situation where her and Matt had a divorce. It was pretty public in their show, and I don't know if you guys watched that, but so she can't move back to her home state because she has kids here. So she's kind of like me. She's stuck in Oregon, so to speak. So um, my kid's mother lives here in Portland, and we do a lot of co-parenting. So got to stay here for the kids, you know. If I didn't have kids, I'd probably just, you know, not be here. But it is a good place to be. Good morning. Good morning, Mercury. Welcome, Steve. Welcome, Steadfast. Shadow, thanks for being our admin moderator today. Dave, welcome. Dave, are you in Oregon? What's up, Casey? Thank you, bro, for becoming a Patreon. Appreciate all you guys yesterday that signed up to be a Patreon, and everybody that's a Patreon right now. You're helping keep drone camps going, so I appreciate that. Yeah, Cody, I just one of my goals of being a parent and having children on this planet is not to be an absent father. My dad, uh, so personal, but my dad wasn't around after I was like 2 years old, so I don't have any memories of having a father around. So, um, but he did come back later in life and spend some time. We didn't get to make up for all those lost years, but gave it a shot. My dad's in a nursing home now, down in Florida. My favorite place to fly in Oregon, Bruno, would be out on the coast. I love the coast of Oregon. Find yourself a nice big cliff, the long beach, preferably no one on that beach, and just do some flying. You can do some nice range flying on the coast of Oregon. Cold and snowy Idaho. Yeah, man. I can't imagine how cold it is there. Super cold. So we had a lot going on this week. Guys, just wanted to give you some updates on what's going on with FPV news, drone news, and what's been going on here at the channel. This week is sort of a fundraiser week. We're trying to get the Drone Camps Patreon up to a really good level to where it could be much more sustainable for me and really help out with funding for the channel. So if you want to jump in, we created a new tier, and that tier is like $2. So basically less than a cup of coffee. You can help keep this channel online. And I suggest, supporting the other channels out there too, like Bardwell, Mads Tech, like all those guys need your support. And Barwell and myself are both full-time content creators. So if I don't make this sustainable or happen the way it's supposed to be this year, I might be doing a little bit less here, but I don't want to do that. So I'm trying to reach out to my community and to see if you guys can really make this happen this year for us. So if you want to sign up on my Patreon, it's pretty easy to get to. You can go to patreon.com/dronecamps, and we have that tier. And right now we're bringing in about 230 a month, and in comparison to somebody like Botgrinder or others, this is one of the lowest funded YouTube channels in the FPV community, as far as the popular ones go. Steadfast RC, we are going to check out Rumble, and we should be on Rumble soon. But right now, 44 of you guys are patrons, and I really appreciate people who are. You can sign up for different levels too. So if you do sign up, I'm going to give you $25 off any drone in the drone store on dronecamps.com. So my new Patreon perk, and this includes everybody that's already on there. I mean, for like $2 a month, you could basically get $25 off an already crazy discounted drone. And plus, if you are Patreon, hey, you're definitely going to be in the good standings for the giveaways. So we're going to pick somebody for that DarwinFpv giveaway. We've got a ready to fly giveaway coming up. That includes the DarwinFpv quad, the Sena Ape. I think it was 25. I think it was 2.5 inch. We've got a Radiomaster radio, a charger I'm throwing in there, and a battery, and a pair of Fpv goggles. Basically a ready to fly bundle that you can pick up and fly when you get it in the box in the mail. And it's going to be free shipping, so don't send any money online to anyone that makes a comment and says to contact them on Telegram. I never ever use Telegram. I don't have it on my phone, on my laptop, or on my computer. I don't use Telegram or WhatsApp. So never send any money online to anyone posing as drone camps. There's a lot of scammers out there. Asgard would really appreciate that. Thank you. Yep, and it's free shipping in the US. If you win and you're outside the US, the main rule always is, like, if I have to ship to New Zealand or Germany or Japan or wherever, I've shipped stuff to Greece, I've shipped stuff to South America, but you have to pay for the shipping outside the US. Inside the US, Drone Camps pays for it. Yeah, I'm glad you had a good experience with the drone store. So you can check out the drone store, guys, and that's always on dronecamps.com. Dronecamps.com has been recently updated, and we added some information on here for the giveaway. We also added the video, if you want to watch that video on what we're giving away. And there's that new $25 off for any quad shop drone. And that applies to drones if you're a Patreon. And that link's right there if you want to grab that. And recently the Hex 35 sold, so this one's out of stock. If you refresh this page, you'll see this store updated here. And right now we've got the Meteor 85 brushless whoop that has HD0 on it, up for grabs. And you can also get a t-shirt if you want to grab one of these snazzy Drone Camps t-shirts and represent FPV in your local hood. You can do that. So we also do all kinds of cool articles as well. So we're doing support articles for the community, And recently we did a 2023 guide to drone and FPV acronyms, which really helps out a lot of people. We also did a video for this as well, not just a text version, which you can study and learn about FPV, but I did a crazy video. So it took me forever to put all this on the screen and go through each one individually and explain it to you guys. It was a huge project that I've been meaning to do for a long time, and this page will update over time. You know, as we go, we'll just add more acronyms and FPV slang to this page, so you guys kind of get a better understanding of really what this hobby is all about. So especially for the brand new guys. I didn't have this when I started out, and it would have been really great, because when I would watch a video to begin with, I had no idea what a lot of these terms were. And you can see I've got my trusty chef knife there. We're about to help you sharpen your FPV skills. I love that knife. That is a bunka made in Japan. I love my bunka. If any of you guys are cooks out there, home cooks, you know what a bunka is. Carbon steel. Super nice. Asgard, thanks a lot for the comment. Appreciate you. So, what's been going on with you guys this week? How are you guys doing? Is everybody good? Did you get to fly this week? Are you snowed in? Is it raining where you are? One Vision, I'm doing good, man. Welcome to the live stream. Mrs. Camps is out right now. She is live on television this morning. If you guys have seen Rebecca before, you probably understand why she'd be on TV. She's a cutie. I think she should be on air more. But I might be biased. Oh, sweet. Oh, man. Yeah, Shadow, the cold and snow hits right after you get a new quad. Like, it's always the same. For the past 20 years, I would be on, like, Horizon Hobbies website. And we're now a Horizon affiliate, which is super cool, but shameless plug. I'd get on Horizon's website, or I would walk into a store and I'd buy a brand new airplane, and I would drive home, and back in the early days, the early 2000s, I'd be up in Norfolk, Virginia. There's a place called, oh man, what was it called? Debbie's RC World. And I would buy a brand new bind and fly airplane. Back then I was flying Spectrum. This was before the days of OpenTX. And we drive home, and then the very next day when I wanted to go fly it, it was raining. You know, whether it was an airplane or a helicopter, same thing every time. Rain. I think that's like Moore's law for RC, anything. Get a brand new RC car, pouring down rain. Get a brand new crawler, pouring down rain. Oh, so we do have a crawler coming from Fury Tech. If you guys have heard of Fury Tech, we have a brand new crawler coming. It's the 24th scale. It's one of the smaller ones, and it looks super awesome. We're also getting some upgrades for my SCX 24. If you guys know anything about crawlers, super into crawlers. I don't do a whole lot of RC cars, but we've done some fun RC car reviews. And this week also, guys, we did a top 5 for 2023 so far, a compilation of my best picks for bind and fly drones of all types. So all the way from the sub 250G drones all the way up to 7-inch class long range drones. I have my number 1 pick for pretty much every category, even a 5-inch freestyler. and a Cinewoot, which won the #1 spot. So before we spend too much time just kind of shooting the I'm going to jump into what I think is some really fun news this week. And if you're driving in your car or whatever, you can just listen to this. It's kind of like a podcast style format, giving you guys FPV news. And we're going to talk about some new releases that are coming up as well. We're going to talk about a brand new release that I have here in the studio. But first, I want to get started and just go over some of the relevant news for this week of January 20th. So one important thing this week is that we got a new update on the DJI firmware. The DJI Fly app is updated, and those are now available. You can download that and update your RC transmitter. So that's kind of nice. They fixed some bugs that people were having, and apparently what it does is it optimizes the flight recorder. And I'm not sure what problem they had with their flight recorder, but maybe it doesn't send your information back to Homeland China now, but probably still does. But this remote I use with my DJI Mini 3 Pro. Super nice remote controller. I love it. The sticks come off, and it's great for travel. We took one to France last summer, and it was just perfect because it's so small and you can fly it and pretty much no one really notices. The European Karens don't come after you. And in France, there may be a couple Karens, but no one bothered us. No one cared about our little mini drone. They really didn't care. And you can update your transmitter and your drone when you get over in Europe, and you can make it the European frequency standard instead of FCC. I believe it was CE. You can change it, which basically cuts down your range, which is not the greatest thing in the world. But if you want to comply with European regulations, that's what you need to do. But that's cool. There's a new DJI RC firmware update and a new updated DJI Fly app. So I love it when DJI comes out with new stuff, and we can all rejoice about that because it's always good. I'm just looking back through the chat now and see if you guys had any questions or anything. So I'm hoping for no rain tomorrow because I'd like to go out and do a freestyle flight. I have my trusty Nazgul V2 frame here, Evoque frame. And this one has an 03 on board with a GoPro mount up here. This is the non-GPS version. Apparently you can get a GPS version, which is pretty cool. And this records stabilized Rocksteady 2.0 on here. I'm probably going to fly it with the 03 footage and share that with you guys. Asgard says he's been thinking about a wing build next. That's a good idea. If you want an easy wing to build, get the Zod Orbit. The Zod Orbit Neon or the regular Orbit. Yeah, it only has a 20x20 mount on this frame, unfortunately. So no 30x30. You could drill it, but that'd be a pain. And for the new guys, wear a regulator when you're drilling or sanding carbon. Because once carbon dust goes inside your lungs, it never leaves. Yeah, carbon dust never leaves your lungs. So be super careful with carbon. sure most of you guys know that, right? So let's go ahead and move on now with the next news item. And I thought this was pretty interesting. This little drone, not little drone, looks kind of like a little miniature, like X-wing fighter. And apparently, a company in Israel has been commissioned by the U.S. government to create this little miniature X-wing fighter-looking drone, and this thing's pretty badass. It can be deployed from a backpack, from a single soldier, and they can fly this for miles, and they can pretty much put it right in the window of a vehicle. Um, and that's pretty much any FPV aircraft could be flown pretty much through the smallest gaps. We all know that. But when you put a missile in the middle of it, like this thing has, like it looks like a straight up missile that launches straight out of the middle of the frame. Pretty terrifying. But they're calling this one the Rock X Point Blank. And it says they will be DoD compliant, which is good news for for United States. Of course, everything has to be DoD compliant to be used in our military. And this is a video. I mean, if you're a bad guy or you're an enemy of the U.S. government, not going to be good for you. And it looks like the entire aircraft flies inside this vehicle. So, um, you know, it says in the article that it can actually fly back and land, but there it is launching. Hand launch, of course. So these are prototypes that they're showing. So maybe the final version will have, probably an optical guided missile that will come out of the frame, and then they can reuse the unit. That would probably be the optimal way for this thing to work out. It's pretty big. But we do support our troops. Drone Camp supports our troops in the U.S. military. We're with you guys. And this is kind of a look at the sort of the prototype 3D model, and there's a nice FPV shot, follow shot. Someone's actually flying a 5-inch quad following the point blank prototype. It's pretty cool. There's the hover mode that it has. This thing is pretty crazy. Now stop and look at this OSD for a second. I'm gonna stop this and back this up. I want you guys to see this. This has their GPS heading up top. It has how many meters from the home point they are. They have their longitude and latitude in here. Fly minutes, the meters. It says 0 meters. How many satellites they have? 17 satellites. Probably using Galileo on this. It's probably been an updated GPS receiver. And does this not look like iNav? It looks like they're running open source iNav on this particular prototype, the RockX prototype. Straight up looks like, this really looks like iNav to me. Am I right? Ukraine does probably need these, and they'll probably get them at some point. But I'm sure they have actually better than this. I've already seen some FPV strikes with the same type of OSD up. Yeah, one of our last podcasts that we did, we showed some video footage, and you can see this thing coming into the back of a Russian transport. And as they slow-mo it, as they come in, you can see the batteries flashing, battery low, and then you see the Russian guy like lift his feet up as the drone comes in to make an impact. Hell yeah, he lifted his feet up. I would too. I'd jump the hell off that transport. It's a pretty scary thing, whatever side you're on. But we have a lot of those. We have a lot of toys. And we're getting more toys all the time. So I thought that was pretty cool. It looks like a little like X-Wing fighter kind of thing. But I feel like if it can't deploy the weapon from the drone itself and then fly back, it's going to be kind of an expensive. It's always good in the field if it can be reusable, because you could drop something, then come back in and load another, and then fly back out. One Vision Aerial said he drove semis all over Iraq. Huge burn pit in Baghdad. Yeah. Yeah, some of my guys were in Fallujah. One of my friends was in Blackwater as well. Sardine can. Yes, I want to welcome everybody to the stream today. We've got some fun stuff we're talking about. We're just going over some of the drone news. We're also going to talk about some of the new releases that are coming out. I have a brand new prototype here in the studio as well to show to you from SkyZone. So SkyZone's got some new stuff coming up. Some of you guys have been trying to find the SkyZone website recently, and I think the old SkyZone website now shows up as like, say, like a carpet cleaning service or something in China. They have a different website I'm going to share with you. Yeah, Casey's probably best that you didn't decide to do Blackwater. I mean, good benefits probably, but you know, sorry to hear that you got medically retired, bro. So I thought that was pretty cool. So also, we have a Guinness Book of World Records speed record set this week. 224 miles per hour. Fastest quadcopter on the planet. Any of you guys ever flown faster than 224 miles per hour? Now, this is the fastest documented one. So, I mean, you know, there's probably something out there that might have went faster than this, but this thing looks similar to what I just showed you. It has that sort of X-Wing look to it with that like giant missile right down the middle, this big phallic red thing. And they're calling this one the XLR V3. Multiple prototypes made using 3D printers and his hand construction skills, which we all know as FPV build. We never really call it DIY, but some could say DIY. His fastest run was 235.68 miles per hour. That's smoking. So here is his OSD. And again, looks like we're looking at iNav with just a different font here. And he's got some serious, like, some serious feedback in his, he maybe needs to move his video wire away from his power source on his drone. It's kind of hard to believe that this guy's setting a speed record and he has terrible VTX setup. If I was going to set the world speed record, I'd make sure that I was using a VTX that could handle it. It's important to be able to see where you're going when you're trying to set a speed record. Am I right? But these guys set a world speed record this week. That's pretty cool. And again, it looks like another drone using iNav, open source. If you're not sure what iNav is, you should Google it and check that out, because iNav is pretty much our choice flight controller software for running GPS for long range. And it's kind of interesting that this design uses GPS. You can kind of see this little black dot in the front of this red phallus right here, and that's the FPV camera. And he's got it on an angle facing down. Or maybe this is the up. It's hard to tell how this thing flies, but it looks like it probably has a hover mode to take off, and then it goes into like a VTOL type of setup. He's got a little bit of a, probably about a 6-inch clearance from the ground to the bottom there, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little quad. It looks very strikingly similar to another YouTuber out there that was also setting some of his own speed records. And that might be where this design is kind of like inspired from. I hate to say stolen. It's probably not, it's not stolen. It's just, there's probably a lot of these designs out there on Thingiverse for free. But man, top speed, 235 miles per hour. That's crazy. If they did 235 miles per hour, why isn't that the headline instead of 224? Wouldn't your record be the top speed? That makes no sense to me. Maybe the average speed was 224 and they recorded the average speed, and that's what they're showing in this article. But I thought that was pretty cool too. New speed record. So what's the fastest you guys have flown? I think one of my fastest drones might be my Catalyst Machine Works Merica on 6S, and some 5x4 props. Freaking super fast. You can get like 35 degrees, 40 degrees tilt, and you can haul ass. That quad has won a lot of multi-GP races. A lot of multi-GP race guys fly Catalyst. Ryan Evans, one of the guys here in Oregon, has been sponsored by Catalyst for years. Probably one of the first sponsors by Neil Whitley, the owner of Catalyst Machine Works. If you want a sick quad, grab a Catalyst. For any of the new guys showing up, wondering what's the hot stuff, Catalyst is super good. Hey man, have a good one, George. 100 knots with an Army drone. That's how many miles per hour is that, Shadow? What is that? I need to Google that. 100 knots. I should know that. 2 miles per hour. I'm pretty good with translating kilometer to. Okay, 115. Okay, I've probably flown 115. It's pretty fast. So adjust this camera here. So it's some pretty cool stuff this week. new military drone tech. We've got a world record that was set, world speed record, and that a new DJI app update. That Israeli drone though looks terrifying. I can't imagine being in the field and having to deal with drones. They also recently came out with this new surface-to-air missile system. It's like a miniature surface-to-air missile system for protecting our troops in the field. It's got these little miniature rockets, and when the drones come in, it pretty much has about a 98% accuracy. So if you're at a base and there's incoming drones, radar detects them, maybe a miniature radar, and then it sees them as heat. It probably sees a heat signature, and then they fire off automatically and take down the drones that are trying to hit the base before they even get close. So 98% accuracy is damn good. So in other news, we have drone market trends for 2023. You guys, like, if you're wanting to get into drones, if you're here and you're interested in turning your kind of hobby into your job, some of the main industries for 2023 and up to, looks like forecast to 2029. I don't know how they can do that, but some of the top sectors in the drone industry right now are absolutely construction, agriculture, military, and defense, of course, law enforcement. I've had a lot of sheriff's departments reach out to me from our website and email me for asking which drone is the best drone for uh, going into for a house, clearing a house, making sure no bad guys are in there. We have recommended drones for SWAT teams, what drone to use and what setup to use to be able to penetrate a building without losing video. So we've done. I personally have done a lot of assistance with police and sheriff's departments, and I enjoy that kind of work for a consultation. We've also done some military aid as well, some LiDAR setups, Army Corps of Engineers years ago. So some of the main companies in the global drone market right now: Drone Deploy Incorporated, of course, DJI, Pix4, still hanging in there, very prominent company. Boeing, of course, Dell Air, and Unique. It's interesting to see Unique in this list of companies. I haven't heard anything from Unique in years. It's interesting to see. We've got Intel Corporation in there. The SEMA model aircraft industry. They make toy drones, but apparently they're relevant. Um, and this is a list of companies that's on MarketWatch.com. And it's interesting to me because I look at MarketWatch for my investments, looking into what companies are popping, what's hot, what's coming out. Precision Hawk, Parrot Drone, Terra Drone, and Bird's Eye View Aerobatics. And it says and more, but I guess they want you to download the report for the whole report. You can check out this press release on marketwatch.com. But, you know, they're saying that it's had a great growth from 2017 to 2022. And it's funny that they don't actually have the number of USD in millions, what they're estimated in this article. It just says to reach USD million. I think I found a typo on MarketWatch. Come on, you guys. You're a big website. You know, the problem with a lot of these websites, probably just copy and pasting this stuff in here. So yeah, the top countries out there right now are North America, United States, Canada, and Mexico, followed by Germany, UK, France, Italy, Russia, and Turkey. And how do you guys feel about that? You feel like the drone industry has expanded since um, COVID has happened? You guys feel like it has kind of gotten bigger or smaller? I feel like the FPV community has probably gotten smaller in the last couple of years. I said before, I feel like it's gotten back more into like the trenches of the hobby. So um, right now it seems like we're out of the kind of like trend, everybody's got to have a drone for Christmas phase. I feel like that was more like back in 2017 that it was like that. Yeah, Pix 4, Carolina Air Shots, you're right. It's expensive. Pix 4 has been around a long time, as you might know. Yeah, Asgard Studios. I was disappointed that Parrot left the consumer market. I'm also disappointed that they stopped making that FPV wing that they made. The Parrot Disco was a fun little ready to fly FPV wing that anyone could buy. Like I watched a friend of mine fly it up in Vancouver, and the damn thing was amazing. I've been building FPV wings for about 9 years. One of my first builds was a 60-inch crash test hobby wing. If you want to get a cheap, durable, fly it into a wall, one of the most durable kits out there that you can get, and cheapest kits, is from my man at Crash Test Hobbies. They might still be around. He has a bunch of videos on YouTube as well. He may be out of business by now, though. It's been a while. I mean, they even, I'm looking on Google right now, and they even have some threads on flight tests for them. They do still have, looks like they still have a Facebook page for Crash Test Hobby. And this is for serious wing guys. These are also, these kits have to be laminated. Some of the smaller ones don't, but they have some really interesting designs. I think that's the coolest thing about Crash Test is that you can make hot glue hinges. This is an example of sort of a hot glue style hinge, or not hot glue. You can use hot glue, but you can also, there's some rubberized, I believe like JB Weld type, almost like a rubbery type of rubber cement type glue. But he has all the build materials and resources usually on his website. And here it is, crashtesthobby.com. Check them out. Check them out. Fly more, fix less. I'm trying to remember the name of the wing that I bought from him years ago. I think it was the Gladiator. So right now he's got some kind of fixed wing, 34-inch planes in here. Sort of a snowball experimental type little plane there. And the Vertigo right here looks very similar to my my Gladiator. It's a 60-inch Glad. He might not make that one anymore because that one's super old. But he also does like Speed Wings, the Assassin series, super fast. So if any of you guys are wanting to get into wings, this is a great way to start. These kits are super cheap. I'm not an affiliate with Crash Test, but I've just loved this company for years. And mainly because it seems like it's like kind of just like a one-man band type of company. The guy kind of reminds me of Bruce from XJet. He's an older guy, very knowledgeable in what he does. So hopefully you guys are learning something today that you have not seen before. The next news item that we have up, like, I mean, this does not surprise me because you know what? I was talking about this in the last Friday's podcast. You guys will not be surprised to see this. Apparently, Amazon has a manager that has been fired because he voiced his concern over the flight logistics of the Amazon delivery drone. He was fired for voicing his safety concerns over drone delivery crashes. Now, they started a brush fire. They crashed and started a brush fire. And I talked about this design. We looked at it close up on one of our live streams. My first thought is it looks very dangerous for this thing to be coming over your yard. And one of the pictures that they used, it cracked me up. It showed them dropping an Amazon box in a yard with a playground next to it. Right in the background was a playground. And this thing was like less than 10 feet off the ground. I feel like it could have been lower to drop the box. Like if you thought you had damaged items before, wait till this thing starts dropping boxes 20 and 30 feet up. Don't order anything glass for Amazon Prime Air. And you know, remote ID, like Shadow Up mentioned remote ID. I believe that remote ID is a direct result of Amazon basically lobbying their way to cancel the 1980s amendment to allowing RC aircraft in the 400-foot and under airspace, even up to 55 pounds. The old weight limit was 55 pounds. You could build anything and fly it in airspace up to 400 feet all the way through the 1980s and 90s. We had huge jets, scale airplanes, helis. I mean, you could build them as big as you wanted back in the day. We had 12-foot trainer planes at Joe Knoll. And, you know, just like any air show, there's probably injuries and stuff, but not any big problems. Yeah, Luis, for sure. The result of remote, you guys are all having to do your questionnaire, your trust certificate, all that stuff is a result of commercial interests in this airspace that used to be ours. Now they claim it as national airspace. Anywhere from an inch off the ground outside is U.S. national airspace. Subjectable to trust certificate and 107 if you're going to do commercial. So isn't that interesting that this guy got fired because he voiced his opinions? Now, it's hard to say, you know, the guy's relationship with Amazon, the guys that he worked with, you know, maybe this guy was just a kind of a pain, but maybe not, because this article goes on to talk about they were actually testing in Oregon, and I'm going to assume that they were out in Eastern Oregon because that's out where Pendleton is, Pendleton Airspace. They have over 100 miles of testing area out in Eastern Oregon for commercial and military testing, which is an open area that they can pretty much do what they want when they're trying to develop their drones. And this drone, this version is a brand new version in the past 6 months. And when we first looked at it, I thought it looked dangerous as hell. But out there in rural Oregon, they were testing, and it says in this article that David Johnson told them that they're not with a full team. Did they have a spotter? Who knows? They didn't have proper equipment, and they had a laptop with a broken keyboard. Wow. as many flight tests as I've been on, I don't think I've ever been out on flight test with a broken keyboard if I needed to use Betaflight. If you need to do some quick tweaks and you need to use a CLI prompt, you're screwed with a broken keyboard. And I can't imagine flying something this size and not having the proper equipment, resources, and team available. So safety concerns. Yeah, I'd say so. Imagine one of these things getting out of control and going in head first on its own trajectory. Talk about diving behind the Amazon van. I used to stand at the back of my SUV when I was flying 700 class helis in case I had to dive behind my car. Because with a T-Rex 700, sometimes you would throw a link and it would send the helicopter in an unknown direction. And with 700 millimeter blades traveling at 30 or 3,500 RPM or around 3,000 RPM, man, it's good enough to chop your head off. That's one of the reasons why I don't fly 700 class series helis anymore, because, man, they're freaking dangerous and they're expensive. So some pretty cool news this week and some fun stuff. Yeah, my credit card is mostly scared of 700 size helis. Every time I put it on the ground, my credit card like shivers. They're so damn expensive. Just the slightest crash would cost you 150 bucks. Like people complain about costs running these. Go back 20 years and get into buying digital servos. You want to talk about expensive. The blades alone for a 700 class helicopter were well, over $120 for something like, what were some of the hot blades? I can't even remember. It's a lifetime ago, an RC lifetime ago. And RC Nitro, man, that is the stinkiest, nastiest crap. I used to hate it when people would show up with a Nitro and start smoking up the field. I mean, Nitro exhaust is essentially like an oil in the air that gets in your lungs. I don't know what the hell is going to happen to all of us that were hanging out with nitro fumes, but I flew a shitload of RC airplanes, so if something's going to happen to me, it's going to happen to me later in life, hopefully. Hopefully not. But yeah, nitro exhaust, not good. So we're moving on. We have a giveaway this week. Not this week, the end of February. The DarwinFpv Ready to Fly. If you're just joining the stream, good news, because we're doing a Ready to Fly giveaway. I'm giving away pretty much everything you need to fly FPV. So that's super, super cool. Charger, battery, everything. I'm throwing in a charger with this bundle. Castor oil fumes, yeah, for sure. Black smoke. So I have a prototype here I wanted to show you guys. You guys that are still here, good for you. Because our friends at SkyZone sent me this. We're going to test this coming up on my 04Xs. And if you're looking for a great pair of goggles this year, get yourself the 04Xs from SkyZone. some of the premium analog goggles. If you're not going to do DJI, grab yourself a 04X, and this receiver right here, super nice, because this module, it is a 5.8 module. Guys that are still flying analog, this is what you get in the box. It's my camera's going nuts here. AI is losing focus of my face. But yeah, this is some serious candy right here. So that is basically out of the box, all ready to go ground station setup here. This also comes with an XT60 cable. Not sure what the voltage input is yet, but I assume it's probably all the way up to a 4S battery. Plugs in the side here and just simply plugs into the XT60 for your, maybe a 4S 1300 could run this. And it has an IPS color display on here as well, which I think is cool, super cool. I have a 6S battery over here. We could check the voltage range on this and see if, let me see if we can get a 6S battery plugged into this. And by the way, SkyZone's website, if you guys are looking for it, some people said they couldn't find it recently. It's skyzonefpv.com. That will take you to their official website. I don't know how people are finding this carpet cleaning website, but that's the wrong website. It also has 3.5 millimeter video in and out. So you can rejoice there that it has in and out video. So if you want to go out to a monitor, you can do that too. 120 bucks. It's the new upgraded version of SteadyView, SteadyView X. I'm just going to check the voltage input. It looks like 2 to 6S LiPo. So should we fire it up real quick in the live stream? Let's just see how well it can handle a 6S battery. I got a 6S 1050 sitting over here. So it also comes with several different faces. You can take this apart and it has a face, has a cover for 04X and Fat Shark. So if you have Fat Shark Dominators, it should fit your Dominators. And we can power this up without putting on the antennas, since it's just a receiver. If it's a VTX, you need to make sure that you plug in your antenna, because you can fry a VTX without doing that. Sitting on the bench. That's just some information for the new guys. It also has a USB-C port on here for updates. And it does ELRS backpacking. So if you wanted to have VTX control over your quad from your radio using ELRS, you can do that. So that's pretty cool. But quite versatile, I think. I'm just gonna quickly put these antennas on here just to show you what it looks like. It comes with 2 antennas in the box. It comes with a patch and right-hand circular polarized antenna as well. So all we have to do to get this thing going is plug in this barrel connector on this side right here. It has a built-in fan as well, not a heatsink, which I think is great. Most of these receivers have built-in fans, most of the good ones. Right, so here is our 6S battery, and hold your breath when I plug this in. I'm going to show you this color screen. Okay, now it's upside down. There we go. So it's loading up. See if we can get that to focus. There we go. And you've got a jog wheel and selector there, so you can long press, probably change bands and channels. That's pretty sweet. And also in the box, you get 4 different face plates. You get this one, this one, this one, and the largest one I'm assuming would be for the 04X, because the 04X has a pretty big pretty big face on it. This camera's still trying to track my face, and we get that 3.5 millimeter audio video cable there. So, and that should be on this side. Actually, where's that? There it is. It's on this side, right above the power jack. See that right there? That's the video out and in. So this is, it comes set up with the ground station on the unit. But if you're not familiar with SteadyView, SteadyView has a different technology in this one versus some of the other ones out there that are just standard style receivers. This one actually takes, it's like a dual band or a dual stream type of input on this module. And what it does is it combines two different FPV feeds and combines them into one to get the best image quality and the most rock solid type of reception from your quad. So if you're still running analog, that's really good technology. Not a lot of them have that. So yeah, and this should work with HD0 goggles as well. And that's $120. So that's a brand new prototype from SkyZone that came in this week. And you can see here on the website, it does fit the 04X. And this is just kind of a graph showing the narrowband filter that in comparison to the traditional 5.8 receiver. Got that CNC metal shuttle wheel control. And I'm glad that it didn't fry when I plugged in its 6S battery. That's good news. So I'll be able to review this one and test it out for you guys, give you some DVR footage. Maybe I should fly my Ishin Wizard, something with like the worst VTX. We can see how it does with like the worst VTX. If we run it on like 1 watt, it's probably going to do great. Should test it on 25 milliwatt, see how far out it can fly. But you can see Fat Shark cover, SkyZone 04X, and apparently a lot better looking, clearer image than your standard diversity setup. 5.8 goggles. So that's good news. I've been enjoying SteadyView since it came out. So that's what's new and upcoming from SkyZone. So I'm gonna take a 2-minute break here, maybe a 1-minute break, guys, and I'll be right back. I'm back. Sorry about that. Camera went a little crazy. I left. So we're using the new Insta360 Link that came out. This is around a little over $200 4K AI controlled webcam. It has a built-in mic on there, but I'm using our new Yeti X, which seems to be pretty good. We've done a lot of upgrades on the channel as far as our equipment over the past 3 months or so. Man, it started out rough. It's getting better. It's getting better. You know, most of these podcasts are pretty good. I would say a lot of the streams out there quite a bit better technically than mine, but I try to give you guys like good content when I do a stream. We're trying to also make sure that we have something to talk about when we just go into a live stream and not just ramble, that we have some proper information for you. So years ago, we just used to get on there and talk, hang out, but it's more than hanging out. You guys want to know what's going on. So that's what we're here for, kind of for FPV news and for what's coming up, looks at prototypes, things like that. And if you're still with us, I appreciate you still being here. And guys that signed up on our Patreon today, thank you for doing that. It looks like we have another Patreon that signed up. Now we have 49 Patreons and $2.49 a month. So I really appreciate that. If you want to sign up for Drone Camp's Patreons, $2 a month. It's patreon.com/dronecamps. If you sign up, I'll come wash your dishes, your dog, wash your car, rake up your leaves, whatever I have to do to make up that $2 for you. But I won't put lotion on your feet. Don't even ask. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for signing up. Also, not to do too much panhandling today, but Bach Grinder, Bardwell, and all of us need it. So if you're not a Patreon of those guys, you should be. I mean, even $2 a month. I'm a Patreon of a guy who flies RC in Africa and actually in Nigeria. And it's not a scam, but there's a lot of scams coming out of Nigeria. But this kid, he's in a lot of the Facebook groups. He posts these little foamy builds that he does. And it's really inspiring to me to see RC inspiration with such minimal resources, money, materials. And this kid's come a long ways since he first started. I mean, he might be like close to 16 years old now, but he's been building stuff. He started out building things that didn't even fly, would just look like an RC airplane. And this kid was stoked. And so it doesn't matter where you're from. If you love aviation, yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, I remember like our little helicopters built out of like Coca-Cola cans. You guys remember those? And they had little moving parts, and it was kind of like a little a whirly-gig type of thing. So I sponsor him on Patreon, like, you know, $5-10 a month or something. Now, one of the things that we did this week that you guys, if you don't know about by now, you might have missed it. I don't know how you did, but we did our picks for the best 2023 drones so far. So it's only January 20th today, but we've already gone and listed our top 5 drones. And you can see those in the most recent video. This is the link. I'll share the link with you so you can watch it later. So go check this out. If you're looking for a safe buy, we pretty much go through all the categories: under 250 grams, 5-inch freestyle, long range 7-inch. They're all there. And number 5 was Axis Flying Z20. I love this quad. And I also included at number 4 a ready to fly bundle for beginners to get into, which was the Beta FPV Cetus X. It looks like number 4 was actually 5-inch. So number 4 was the Nazgul Evoque V2. Sorry about that. Number 3, and these two could be in either order. It doesn't really matter. But these were my top picks for these categories. So my number 1 ready to fly bundle this year for beginners is the CSX. And one of the reasons that I picked this one is because it is a 2S version. It also has ELRS expandable radio, which means you can bind this radio up to other drones, as well as a pair of goggles now with DVR. I used to complain about Beta FPV's ready to fly bundles because they didn't have DVR. Who in the world wants to fly for their first time and not be able to record the videos? That just stinks. It kind of ruins the whole experience, in my opinion. They shouldn't even make FPV goggles without a DVR. That's just my opinion. So my number 2 choice was the 7-inch category, and that was the Chimeras Pros V2 analog version, or the 03 version. This drone right here has the best tune of any 7-inch bind and fly out there right now. You can also run 7.5-inch props on this, so 7.5s. That's freaking awesome. A little more floaty. And recently someone posted a video about how to get rid of jello in the 03. If you have some vibrations, there's a way to actually open up that camera. And sometimes inside this DJI camera, it can have a loose camera inside this shell. So what people are doing is they're taking a little bit of liquid tape. Some of you guys don't know what liquid tape is. Google that. Liquid tape is super useful in our hobby because you can put it on flight controllers and it peels right back off. It's kind of like my alternative to hot glue. It's softer than hot glue, and it's non-conductive like hot glue is. So you can put it on electronics, you can peel it back off, but it'll hold things down. And what they do is they open up this camera and they put a little bit of this liquid tape on the inside of the camera where the lens screws in, because apparently there was a little bit of vibration there for the lens where the housing screws in, and just that tiny bit of vibration was causing some jello. It wasn't actually the quad, it wasn't the tune, it wasn't the props, it was the connection of the camera lens to where it screws down. So it's kind of crazy. There's a video on that. But if you're a good tinkerer, you can probably just open this camera right up and make sure that yours is screwed in tight. If you want to, add a little bit of liquid tape on it. And our number 1 pick for bind and fly so far in 2023 is this little guy. It's the 03 version of the Cinebot 30. This is the standard one right here. They make an analog version as well. But for me, the best all-around pick is this 03 version. I love it. This eliminates the need to use a GoPro on here. You can add a tiny cam, you can add D-case GoPro. It's crazy durable. I crashed mine into the concrete. And people that broke these prop guards, I'm not sure how they broke them. You must have had a hella crash if you broke these prop guards. I like that they also don't use struts in here. That kind of shaves off a little bit of weight for the entire frame, and it makes the whole thing look like nicer aesthetically. It looks way nicer than the Avata. Someone recently asked me on the channel, like, hey, should I sell my Avata and buy a Cinebot 30? And my answer was yes, because why? You're just gonna have you're gonna have more fun in the long run when you jump into flying a real FPV quad, outside of what DJI is making for their ready-to-fly bundles. I mean, Avata has its place for, fly-throughs and things like that, but I feel like a Cinebot 30 is more versatile. It has way cheaper batteries. It's not $100 batteries. How many 6S batteries can you buy for $100? I mean, people talk about, oh, it has, it doesn't have a long of a flight time. We're talking like maybe 2 to 3 minutes difference between the Cinebot 30 and Avata. And a 6S battery right now on Banggood, if you look in my links, I think the 6S battery packs from Tattoo are on sale right now for $25 a piece. So you could literally get 4 6S batteries for around $100. 4 batteries, maybe fly 2 minutes less than the Avata battery, a single Avata battery. So I think that's pretty cool. And that's a great list of drones for you guys to pick from. A lot of times we try to put stuff up there that was not just recommended by me and my experiences, but also the feedback that I got from the community and you guys. I want to give a shout out to Luis today. Welcome back to the live stream, Luis. I wish we had your mic working, bro. We need to get that sorted, because we got to have our co-host on here. Luis is my right-hand man. Cortez asked in the chat if I know where to get another antenna for the MO425 VTX unit. If you can't find it on Beta FPV's website, what I would do is go to Banggood's website and type in, it should be I believe it's an IPEX connector on that, and you can pretty much use any antenna. I would actually find one that has a longer wire on it, so you could extend that up outside of it. What I would mostly recommend for you is to get one that you can plug in that has a right-hand circular polarized miniature antenna on top. You'll just get a better reception, penetration, and distance range out of right-hand circular polarized little mini mushroom antenna versus that dipole. And you just get a much better signal back to your goggles. Be rock solid. But 400 milliwatt on a micro is really good. That's another reason why I recommend the Cetus X version. 400 milliwatt on a Whoop 2S. Yeah, it's really good stuff. Mercury Moyes asking Cetus Pro or Tiny Hawk 2 Freestyle, which should I fix first? Fix? Are both of them broken? Or do you mean which one should you buy? Shout out to Johnny D in the chat. If you're asking which one to buy, I would go for a Cetus Pro if that's going to be your first quad, or the Cetus X bundle. Freestyle is a little more aggressive than something for your first quad, just because it's crazy fast. It's kind of like flying a little 5-inch. Be prepared to fix some things. You're going to break stuff. The Freestyle is really for people who already know how to fly acro. Yeah, Cinebot's nice. Oh, it's broken. Well, if you're gonna repair, fix the Freestyle. Fix your Freestyle, get that one back going. That's one of my favorite acro trainer fun quads. The Karens don't care about the quiet, super quiet. And our number 5 pick, you can check out the link in this video. I have the links all down below for the top 5 2023 drones. This is Axis Flying's link. It's axisflying.com to check out the Senate on the 25 version or the Z20. Now, I had the Z20. They also have a Colas series. You can get a large 7-inch from Axis. They make a foldable one, which is super cool. And the 20 is $425 for the 03 version. Someone said the other day they couldn't find the 03 version. It's right there on their website. Here it is, P&P. You can also get it with ELRS or TBS Nano. I suggest TBS. If you guys watch my videos, see my TBS sweatshirt I wear all the time. That's my main receiver on all my drones. Man, I'm sorry to hear that your quad's broken. Bro, Luis, thank you, bro. Man, I appreciate you. Luis, I have something for you, by the way. So when I see you again, I've got something for you. So I want to say thank you. This is the Nazgul V3 with the O3. I showed you earlier in this stream. You guys saw me holding that one. This is an expensive quad the way it sits. That's an expensive freestyle drone, $539. If money's no option and you're looking for one of the most awesome bind and fly 5-inch you can get your hands on with 4K stabilized footage without having to freestyle with a GoPro, running 6S with these new Zing series motors, this thing is a beast. If you want to do analog, I believe they have an analog version. One of my all-time favorites that we don't talk about much anymore is the Mach 5. They also make an analog version of that, an HD version. HD version comes in at $399. It has one of the thickest frames I think I remember flying. I think this is 6 to 7 millimeter bottom plate. This is a crazy fast drone. When I flew this, it was one of those drones that flies so fast that I found myself like losing my balance standing up flying FPV. And I usually don't. It has 2506 motors on this beast. Yeah, 6 millimeter arms, Blitz 7 flight controller, 55 amp ESC, analog or RunCam Wasp versions. It looks like they've updated that. They also have a Polar Vista kit. I would go for the Polar Vista because that Polar Cam will allow you to fly close to nighttime, and that thing is awesome. Super awesome. So the Nazgul5 bind and fly, get the Evoque version. I don't even think they call it the Evoque anymore. They just call it the V3, which makes it easier for us because having to have 3 names for one quad is ridiculous. So they may not call it the Evoque anymore, which makes me happy. Eric, if you want to get the DC sticker on the live stream chat, it's a channel membership. There's difference between the channel membership and the Patreon. If you're a Patreon, you don't get the sticker, but if you're a channel member, it's a join through YouTube. It might even show up if you're a subscriber, but I think you have to be a member, a channel member. So for guys that are asking about a ready to fly bundle, the ready to fly bundle, the Cetus X, that's on Beta FPV's website. You can use our link for that as well, and that should take you straight to that. See, I'll show you that website real quick. So this one comes in at $289. So for under $300, this bundle has everything you need to fly, including the DVR, which I love. And we talked about the fact that you can use these goggles on other quads, and you combine this ELRS up to other ELRS receivers. But the thing about ELRS, and kind of annoying, but some of the ELRS receivers don't cross bind to other modules because they have different firmware on the receivers, and that drives me a little bit crazy. So for people looking to get into FPV, again, like myself and Barwell, feel like ELRS makes things more complicated than it needs to be for brand new guys. Yes, it does extend your range, and it's better than FreeSky or the XM Plus receivers that we use for years, but you know, the ELRS configurator is frustrating sometimes to get that properly working. And the next quad that we talked about in the best 2023 drones is the Chimera Pro V2 6S HD version, $739, the most expensive bind and fly drone in this entire category. For any of the 7 inches that I tested, it's the most expensive, but it's also the best flying. And 7.5 he's on there, guys. They also have a new battery. It looks like a 6S 8,000 milliamp battery. And I don't know that that one would fit on there, but that's $149 for that battery. If I could get 8,000 milliamp on the Chimera, I feel like they should send me this battery to test. If it would fit on there, I would love to try it, because I think I could get 30 minutes plus on this 8,000 pack. 30 minutes plus. It also looks like it has a hard shell on here. So some of these companies are coming out with hard shell batteries. And since this one is a Lion, it doesn't scare me as much as a hard shell LiPo. Because when a LiPo starts to swell, you want to know. You don't want to have a hard shell kind of like disguising that your battery is about to explode. Lions, when they explode, they won't give you any warning. They just go up. When a Lion goes up, they go up big. So, you know, guys that are flying Lions too, like, don't like push them. They're not batteries for freestyle. They're batteries for minimum throttle. They don't like a lot of amp draw. So these guys don't do high amp draw. These are strictly for range flying. If you want to freestyle, stick to a LiPo. And they got a 3300 here as well for 90 bucks. So Full Send's coming out with some new batteries. Full Send is iFlight's kind of flagship battery brand. Looks like a 95C battery, and that's a LiPo. You can see the cells in this battery right here. Pretty nice looking battery. I'm not sure a black case is the best choice for any drone battery because of heat. Now, the next drone in the top drone in our lineup is right here on Geprc's website. And they make this one in analog. Also, the 03 version, which I have, which is my top pick for right now. January 20th. This is, if you didn't have any other drone and you were going to sell your DJI Avata, if you get this drone, you will have a much funner experience, and it will also broaden your experience. So I guarantee you that your hobby is going to change for you. It's going to change for you when you start flying one of these type of bind and flies versus flying something out of the box from Best Buy. It's just the way of the hobby. I also like that they have this dampening gimbal on the top. A lot of the other Cinewhoops don't have these rubber grommet dampeners here. This is nothing new. It's been around in the drone world for a decade or longer. These rubber grommets are great. They do wear out over time. You can replace them. but this gives you the best type of what we call soft mount to the frame. And we've been talking a lot about the O3 camera as well, and soft mounting this camera to the frame. And the way that people are soft mounting it to the frame instead of a hard mount straight to the carbon or the aluminum side plates is use a little bit of TPU between the camera on both sides, the screws and the camera. So adding a little bit of padding in there really does reduce the vibration of the O3. But O3 has been a challenge for some people to get rid of the vibes. It's not completely perfect. But this entire setup, for as far as camera protection, is way better than what we have for the Axis Cine-On 20. Let's go back to that page real quick. That camera, you can see here, it hangs right out front. I'm not sure why there's no shroud around it. It's just put straight up front for you to break. If you're going to have a lens impact, it's going to happen. But this doesn't help you out when it's just hanging up there. I also feel like this is a soft mount, but it's hanging. I feel like there could be a better design here for the way they have this camera on this frame. I feel like this is kind of a last minute decision. They put so much thought. It's kind of like a painting. Someone paints a portrait and they put all the detail into the face and they don't do anything in the background. Background's kind of secondary. I feel like this camera design is mount design is secondary compared to this over-under design that the designer put so much time into creating two plates. We have regular motors facing up in the back, inverted motors in the front. So all the design time went to that. Maybe they should have put more time into the camera design for sure. But Geprc has something new coming to us, guys. Also, we have a brand new drone coming in. Should be in this week. The Cinelog 20 is coming. So there's going to be a competitor to Axis Flying Cine-On 20, Cinelog. And I've given an educated opinion on stuff before, and sometimes people, they get all like bent out of shape. Oh, Justin Davis, what the hell are you talking about? Blah 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 blah. Especially when the Avata came out, I had a ton of skepticism about the design, the frame, the durability, the tune, the acro ability, the prop design, the duct design, the plastic cage on top. Like, I talked about all kinds of stuff in that first Avata overview when it was first coming out, before anyone ever got it. And a lot of that stuff came true. And it's because, been working with components in this stuff for almost a decade. I know this stuff. I dream about this stuff. So this is the first Geprc drone that I've seen so far that has what appears to be another hard case. This battery looks very squared out. If you look at this battery on top of the Cinelog, it looks very like low. It looks like a low profile, wider battery. And it appears to be very similar to iFlight's battery that they have. And I'm going to hope that this battery doesn't have some kind of weird proprietary connector. No one likes proprietary batteries. If I have a Geprc quad, I want to be able to fly whatever battery I want on it. The same thing with the Defender 25 that's coming out from iFlight. So if we look at the iFlight Defender, just go back to the main page. The Defender should be here very soon. This is kind of an Avata look-alike. It's not an Avata. It's nothing like an Avata. But it has this type of battery on top. So let's just scroll down and give you a bigger picture here. And I don't think that Geprc is going to come out with a proprietary battery connector. I just don't think that's going to be the case. So Let's see, let's give you a larger look at this battery. So this is the battery, how it's sort of snaps down to the frame, and it also comes with this battery dock that you're going to use to charge this battery. So it's a very similar connector style that the Avata has. The Avata has this pull tab, and it separates it from the drone body, but you also have to press a button and press it again to turn on the Avata. This one looks like it's just going to plug in like a standard LiPo, but for some reason they have this wonky adapter adapting it from this connector, whatever this is, to the XT30 right there and the balance port. Man, it's annoying. They could have put just a regular XT30 and this balance port coming off this battery. I don't know why they did it like this, because you can't take this battery off your Defender 25 and put it on something else. That is kind of a thing. But you can use it with multiple types of chargers with this board. Well, I mean, what do you guys think about that? I'm sure that bothers the hell out of all you guys as far as the Defender 25 goes. So I feel like the Geprc 20, Cinelog 20, it is only 2-inch props on this one, but it's basically not going to really be a 25 Defender 25 competitor, really. And they're recommending on this Cinelog 20 a 650 milliamp battery. And it looks like 4S on that one. About a 6-minute flight time, maximum flight time. It's pretty good for a small drone. Well, we could put a D-Case GoPro on this one. And we could put the, probably put the Runcam Thumb Pro on there. And hopefully it comes with some kind of mount. Geprc, if you're listening to the stream today, please send me a mount. But it has 1303.5 motors on there. Inverted prop design. It's going to be a little smoother than your standard style up-facing motors. So that's pretty cool. That's a couple new things coming down the pipe. New stuff from SkyZone. I also have my Swordfish that I have to review. Right now I'm working on getting some crossfire set up on my Swordfish. It has built-in iNav on there, GPS, everything. You can also get if you're looking to fly a fixed wing plane with FPV and GPS on there and full scale iNav, SkyZone's now making one under the name Atom RC. So I believe on the SkyZone website, they have the Swordfish on there. Yeah, Luis says the Johnny FPV Cinelifter, 8-inch, starting at $3,000 to up to $13,000. Sure. 13,000 for a cinema rig is actually a good price. But for an 8-inch, cringe. At 13,000, it better include some type of DSLR. When my company used to build for Hollywood, I mean, an average price of a Hollywood drone, but we also used to build Hexa and octocopters with Zenmuse gimbals. We would run Panasonic Blackmagic cameras, Cinema Red, FPV systems on 5.8, and we also did Lightbridge for customers back in those days. And Lightbridge was the early HD transmission, which from DJI at that time was the bomb. It was about $1,300 for that Lightbridge system. Some of you guys may have had Lightbridge, probably not, but I had one client who refused to pay for the extra $1,300 FPV system on a $15,000 drone. So average price of any type of, I mean, this is without the camera. I mean, it's $15,000. We had a lot of corporations spending $20,000. One of the first big Hollywood builds that we did was a $20,000 octocopter. And I had to test fly them. Can you imagine test flying something that's been built and set up the first time? That's a $20,000 $20,000 rig. I've flown some expensive gear, but it's fun. And man, it just reminded me of one of my first drone and first builds. Yeah, Luis, it was pretty nerve-wracking to fly something that's $20,000. We have had stuff crash before on flight test because of I've had props move in the wrong direction, had ESCs go up in flames, all kinds of stuff. Bolts fly off, motor bolts, someone didn't Loctite. We had a build team. It was awesome, but it didn't feel much different than flying my T-Rex 700 helicopter, and it didn't feel that much different. It felt easier to fly a $20,000 octocopter than flying a quarter scale Piper Cub airplane, which at the time I was flying all the time to go into Joe Nall. I had a Great Plains quarter scale Piper Cub that had a Sato 120 on it. So if I could manually hover a Piper Cub, which hover means to fly the airplane like this off the ground. If I could do that, and I could fly an octocopter on stabilized mode. It's pretty simple. It just sounds cool. It's not scary. It just sounds cool. But when my company was paying for the components, that's what's scary. Because I don't want to break a Zenmuse gimbal, a brand new one, before I was going to ship it to California. So at the time we were shipping from North Carolina to California. Most of our clients are on the West Coast. $1,500. That's a lot of money for an RC airplane. You had a lot of those carbon fiber extra Edge 540s, extra 300s. I saw a Precision Aerobatics carbon fiber 3D plane fuselage get thrown into a bonfire one night at Joe Nall. We were all hanging out late at night. People are night flying, and there's a bar on the flight line, so you can have some beers and you can have some drinks right there on the flight line. There's big flat screen TVs. One of the coolest RC meetups that you can go to. Super cool. Around 3,500 RC pilots, around 7,000 people 10 years ago. But they threw a carbon fiber fuselage into the fire, and while I'm having a beer, I'm sitting back and watching about $1,000 plane burn up in the fire. And he threw it in there because, well, he was sponsored by Precision, and you know, the fuselage was half destroyed. So when carbon breaks, I mean, you've got a gas motor going in and destroying stuff. You're not going to repair that. But it was interesting to see what happens to carbon when fire, when it's thrown into the fire, because as most of you guys know, carbon doesn't burn. the glue falls apart and then the carbon falls down into the fire. It's a really weird thing to see, because everything holding carbon fiber together is, you know, the glue and the fiber. Once the glue is gone between the fibers just kind of separate. It kind of goes like this and falls into the fire. Carbon science. It's pretty freaking cool. Super light, and it does not burn, but it is conductive. So that's why if one of your ESC wires pops off your flight controller mid-flight and touches the frame, you get a white puff of smoke coming out of your flight controller, your ESCs. And then followed by white smoke, you have fire. Yeah, I'll try to hit you up this weekend, Luis. I appreciate you guys in the super chat today. Thanks for the tips. Today was a fun episode. We had a lot of cool stuff to talk about. We talked about a world speed record, 224 miles per hour. We talked about an Amazon employee who was fired for his concerns over safety for Amazon Air Prime deliveries. They had some brush fires they created. They had not enough staff on site, no bathrooms for the girls to use out in the middle of the desert, no facilities. Man, when you're doing the corporate thing, you got to have all the bases covered, especially when you're doing aerial flight tests. I'm sure some of the regulations were also probably skirted. I mean, you know how things go. People are doing things on the fly a lot of times, even in like the largest corporations. And at the top levels of government activities, yeah, happens. So if you're just joining us in the chat, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live stream today. Guys, if you're not a Patreon, please do sign up on my Patreon. We need to help to build that up this year. Right now we're at 49 Patreons. And it's just patreon.com/dronecamps. You can sign up for like $2 a month. That'll also get you $25 off any drone in the drone store on dronecamps.com. So recently we sold the Hex 35 for a great deal, around $250. And if you were a Patreon, if you want to buy that, all you have to do is send me an email that you want to buy it. And if you're a Patreon, you get $25 off. Free shipping. That's like half the price of the retail on that drone. And I literally flew it like 3 or 4 times. So super good deal on the drone store stuff. We're going to add some new drone store drones early this week, maybe even over the weekend. If you guys go to dronecamps.com and you refresh that page, there's a new way to navigate the site now. If you go over to this little sort of hash over here, click on that, and it has sort of a new school style menu here now. So you can check out building, you can see our articles, and you can go to the home page, which is where the drone store is. If you scroll down like halfway right here, you'll see the quad shop. And right here, refresh this page, you'll see the new drones pop up. Like I said, probably over the weekend, maybe Monday. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, smash that like button. It helps the algorithm grab this and push it up, because apparently YouTube works by subscriber participation, and the more likes a video gets, the higher up in the ranks the video climbs. So it's kind of a rig. Everything is rigged nowadays, I swear to God. It's all rigged to the algorithm and what people are liking and clicking on. So that's a pretty good deal. That was something new I thought about this week to give you guys another perk for Patreon. So probably you're going to save even more on your hobby this year versus getting like an Amazon subscription. Amazon subscription costs $100 a year. So this is actually cheaper than an Amazon subscription if you're into FPV. If you bought 2 drones, that would be $50 off your drones plus the discount price of what I sell these for. You know, you're saving like hundreds of dollars a year in your hobby. You take that extra hundreds of dollars and spend it on batteries, and then you'll have a great bag of batteries, courtesy of Drone Camps. And your hard-earned dollars. What's up, Tommy M? Welcome to the live stream. Appreciate you, bro. And I couldn't get into, for some reason, I couldn't get into my Patreon for a couple months, and I finally was able to get back into it. I had like changed the email on it and couldn't figure out how the hell to get into my own Patreon. So I was locked out of my own Patreon for some time. I mean, it happens. So are you guys going to fly this weekend? What's your plans for the weekend? Anybody have any interesting FPV trips coming up? Places you're going? We're going to we're going to take a trip to Hawaii this year. We're going to go to Maui. So if any of you guys are in Maui, hit me up. We should do some flying in Hawaii. We got any Aloha bros? Might take some kite gear and some surfboards out there too. We got to teach the kids to surf. I grew up surfing, so. Boards and airplanes, 2 things that I can never get enough of. What's up, Jonathan? Welcome to the live stream. You're rebuilding your 800? Johnny D, that's cool. Aloha, Mercury. That's awesome, dude. Upcountry, guys, if you guys know some good spots to fly in Maui, send me an email. I'm going to definitely be hooking up with some of you guys. I don't know if, where is Dustin Dunhill? Is Dustin Dunhill in Maui or is he on Oahu? Does anybody know? I know Dustin was doing some crazy like island to island 4GE flight tests. He doesn't care about the regulations. He just sends it. I don't know how that man monetizes stuff and flies like 20 miles on a real-time flight test. Puts it on YouTube. It's like years ago, Casey Neistat was flying in New York City. And every time Casey would put up a new video of him flying down Broadway over top of like celebrity galas, I would cringe. Because I knew the FAA was watching and I'm like, oh man, it's only a matter of time before they knock on his door or give him a call. And he was in hot water for a minute. So he said, okay, I won't do that anymore. And now I think he's back to flying in Manhattan somehow. He must have a waiver. They just probably say don't do certain things, don't fly certain places, certain altitudes. He's probably not allowed to go above building height if you're flying above building height in New York City, that's super dangerous. Below building height, try not to fly over people, but in New York City, that's impossible to not fly over people. Unless you're flying like a tiny whoop. I recommend avoiding New York City. Years ago, one of the most controversial drone flights that was ever taken, I believe was taken and uploaded by Trappy, the owner of TBS Black Sheep. Trappy is not from the US, and he made a couple of flights here in the US that got pretty much the entire industry in some hot water with the FAA. He was the first guy that the FAA went after, and he got in trouble for doing a job. I want to say it was in Virginia for his FAA case against him. That kind of kicked off the whole drone regulation. And then probably one of the most infamous flights besides that paid flight over the university was the flight around the Statue of Liberty. I think he launched on Ellis Island and did a flight around the freaking Statue of Liberty. You know, as someone who's into, I'm into, you know, making sure that national security is a priority. To see someone not from this country fly around the Statue of Liberty is concerning. Even 11 years ago, 10 years ago. That concerned me. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? But I love their gear. I do love TBS's receivers and their transmitters. Not so much the 5.8 receiver. I had one that was a total lemon. It had terrible reception. I had to replace it with a cheap immersion $25 one for 5.8, and it did way better in my Fat Sharks. I still complain about that 9 years later. He never hooked me up with a new one either. I emailed him. I didn't get an email back. At that point, it's just like I feel like he didn't care. He still might not. But that's Trappy. They were just recently live streaming TBS from the couch, and they had a little sign in the back. It said like TBS live stream, and like they drew it in like pencil. They said that was their fancy sign. These dudes are funny. But we don't get super fancy on the channel here either. It's kind of more down to earth. But some of the last things we have to talk about in this stream is definitely the DarwinFpv Ready to Fly bundle giveaway that's coming up. That's our new giveaway. That's the end of February, guys. So people keep asking me, when is the giveaway? Like, I say it in the video. It's in the end of February. People see a video go up, they don't watch it, and then they ask questions. They'll put a comment. When is this video? When is the giveaway? How do I win? It's right there in the video description too. And any last questions we can provide answers to. Luis is still in the chat as well. He loves to help you guys out. He is our co-host of our live streams. Luis will be live eventually. We're going to get that audio worked out. I was sending some messages to Bot Grinder recently. I'm like, man, what software do you use? We use OBS for our live streams. We used to use Streamlabs and they suck. So we dropped them, and I don't have to pay for the subscription. OBS is free. But if you guys know any great ways to have a guest on OBS, a super easy way or a way that works, I would love to know. Any tech savvy guys out there know about that, because I can build an octocopter, but for some reason I can't get the damn audio working on Luis's stream. But we probably just need to get together on that, make that work. We're gonna make it work this year. This year is the year of bringing live stream to the very important side of this Drone Camps channel. We're trying to make sure that that we're covering all bases this year. Reviews, tutorials, live streams, news articles on dronecamps.com, the quad shop, doing so many different things. Patreon experience. Like trying to cover all the bases for you guys. And we do have a Discord chat server as well. So if you go on Discord and you search for Drone Camps, you should find our server. Luis might have a link to it that he can drop. But once you log into Discord, you can join our Discord chat. Johnny D and those guys are also in there. Johnny D is an admin, moderator on the channel. Jason says we can talk in Discord chat. OBS will pull the audio into your stream. Luis, take note of that. I think Luis is pretty smart when it comes to Discord. Okay, Luis is on his phone right now. You guys should be in all the Discords for, I think Bardwell's also got pretty happening Discord as well. And Bot has one. But ours is pretty active. And sometimes guys are just in there hanging out. It's like 24 hours a day if you want to talk FPV, or you have some kind of problem, you want to take a picture of your quad, or your flight controller, ESCs, need VTX or Betaflight help, the Discord server is awesome. I was in there months and months ago, and like people were uploading like their pictures of their dogs. I mean, so you never know what's going to happen in Discord. Wow, Bruno, Surge shipped you a drone to Zambia. No kidding. That's pretty cool. When I had my drone camp store, I had a brick and mortar store. I wouldn't ship outside the US because I got scammed a couple times pretty hard. And that sucks. But Pyro Drone's been in business for a long time. So he probably would ship to you guys in Africa. You guys are from all over the world in the live stream. That's pretty cool. We can reach all corners of the globe. That is super fun. So right now it's about 3 o'clock on the East Coast of the United States, and it's 12 p.m. here on the West Coast. Welcome to the live stream, Tony. You guys have any questions you need answers to, please do drop them in the chat. Join up on our Patreon and join our Discord. When you sign up for Patreon, actually, it will give you the link to our Discord. So everybody that signs up on Patreon automatically gets that link. But if you're not a Patreon, you should be. Because if you, like Bardwell said, if you guys buy FPV gear, like people that say they can't afford to join someone's Patreon for $2 a month, come on. Like Barwell says, I like money. We all like money. We're full-timers. This is our full-time job. Right now I'm at 49 Patreons. I want to say some of these guys have like 500 Patreons. I wouldn't know what to do with myself. You know, I like Bardwell says, if you got like a certain amount of money on Patreon, you could, you know, you can pretty much do what you want at that point. You could selectively review what you wanted to review. Wouldn't have to review everything. You'd have a lot more independence if you made enough money to survive without having to rely on residuals. But I would love to get that Patreon up to like 500 a month. That would be freaking amazing. Right now we're about 249 a month. For a Patreon, which we're getting up there. It's much better than like last week, and I don't hardly ever promote my Patreon. So, all right, there's a link for Discord, guys. Go ahead and save that in your browser, and that is where we all meet. I pop in from time to time. I know Johnny D and some of you guys are in there. For sure. If you contribute to the channel, you contribute to keeping the community going and thriving and just getting better all the time. And you guys see, like I've invested some money into new cameras, a brand new mic. This is a $150 mic. It's not the most expensive one out there, but it does the job. It's much better than that MacBook mic. Go back probably 2 or 3 months ago and look at a live stream. When the fan would kick on the MacBook, it would cause kind of fan noise. It sounded, someone said it sounded like I was in a rainforest. This thing, like when OBS kicks on, all the fans turn on the MacBook for some reason. MacBooks are definitely not what they used to be. I have to take mine and get it fixed soon. I'm going to try to do that this week before next Friday's live stream. I have a broken screen. This is my 3rd broken screen on my MacBook. And I'm not hard on my MacBook. I take care of it. And this is the 3rd screen. I have a crack in the bottom corner, the one that I'm streaming on right now. And the bottom half of the screen and the side of the screen has lines going through it. So it's useless. But I can still see good enough to be able to live stream. Thank God. But it looks like they might have changed their policy on the screen fix on MacBooks. I think it's unlimited at this point because people keep breaking these screens. They suck. So fragile. All right, but if we could get that Patreon level up past $250 today, I would be super stoked. So all we need is like one more person to join up to bump us above 250. Even at a $2 support, that would put me up to 251 a month. I know most of you guys couldn't survive on $250 a month, so that gives you an idea how much extra support we need. We need to blow up that Patreon. Yeah, Mercury, there's other ways that you can pay for stuff online besides PayPal. You can use Cash App. You can use Venmo. There's all kinds of ways to pay for things. But not having PayPal, that makes life hard, for sure. But avoid the scammers in the giveaway as well, guys. We got people putting comments in the chat saying that you won. You're never going to win by me commenting on any video. And I don't use Telegram. I don't use WhatsApp. So don't send any money to anyone. It's 100% free giveaway. I even have a disclaimer in the video saying, like, warning, scammers in the comments. And right as I posted my video, they went on Bot Grinder's YouTube channel and started posting some comments that people won, like on an old giveaway video that he's already done. So scam the scammers. Don't give money to anybody online. Inside the US, I'm going to ship it free to your door. Outside the US, you guys pay for the shipping. Especially if you're in Africa, South Africa. Mercury, I think you're in South Africa, right? You're welcome, guys. Go ahead and bookmark the Discord so you guys can have that. You can use that on your phone, or you can use it on your laptop or your desktop. They have apps for both PC and a Mac. So we had a lot of fun in the live stream today, guys. We have more FPV news and prototypes, releases, and new stuff coming up next week. Each week I try to update you guys and keep you in the loop. And what's cool about this live stream versus like Barwell's live streams, a lot of times the topics here are different, and the new releases that we talk about are different as well. He just released a video about the January releases, and typically we don't do a lot of overlap. So if you watch one live stream and you come to the next one, you're going to see different things. So if you're looking to get like full coverage of what's happening in FPV, if you watch all the channels, I recommend that. So you can find out what's new. That's the best way to do that. So you're not just putting all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. He has pretty good coverage of the new HD0 goggles. If you guys are thinking about those are $500. I'm not going to pay $500 to review those goggles. I think Oscar Lang just actually paid $500 so that he could get a pair and review them on his blog, which that's a lot of money just to do a review. But I spent $1,300 on the Avata so I could review that. But eventually, hopefully I'll sell it and recoup some of the cost. I haven't even used the motion controller yet. I should try that just for kicks. Some people like it. I might love it. Maybe I start flying. Can you imagine flying a Cinnabot on the motion controller? Never acro again. Just fly the stick. Right? Fly the DJI stick. Tony, man, I'm sorry. The 2X Camps tees are not in stock right now. I need to order some 2 and 3 because we do have some guys that are in the 3X size. My dad's a 3X, which means I may be a 3X one day. Who knows? But I doubt it. I have a t-shirt company here in town who does my shirts, so I'll try to get an order in. It's just they have such a minimum that it's expensive for me to do a run. When I do a run, I have to like do more than 12 shirts at a time. I think it's like 12, minimum 12 per size, but there's a minimum of like 72 t-shirts or something like that. So it's usually $400 or $500 for me to do a run. But that'd be nice, Luis. We should do some beanies. Man, the hats are expensive. This hat right here is embroidered, and that's a $40 hat. My cost. I can't even sell this hat. But there might be a way to source some cheaper hats. I like that TBS hat that you have, Luis. That's pretty chill. Is that a beanie? Do you have TBS beanie? Yeah. You know, and Steve, speaking of DJI, this is some kind of interesting insider news that I don't even have to share, but I will share with you guys because I try to share everything with you. Recently, I was talking to DJI, and DJI just updated their affiliate accounts, and I wasn't making hardly a pittance in my DJI affiliate app anyway, but they just turned off across the board affiliate funding for about 90% of people who have a DJI affiliate account. And so it threw up this like disclaimer, and I was trying to make a short link, and in the past couple months I haven't been able to make a freaking short link because since the Avata came out, they took everybody's affiliate link generator off of our affiliate account, and now we can only pick from pre-formatted affiliate links, which is like Mavic 3. And I couldn't even link the goggles too, which I recommend the goggles too, and I can't even make a link for it. It's ridiculous. So I had to reapply my case to DJI as a content creator to apply for full-scale DJI affiliate account. What? Yeah, dude, super lame. So I finally got an email back from them about 2 weeks later after I reapplied after being a DJI affiliate for 9 years. All of a sudden now I have to reapply, give them my YouTube channel, views and demographics and all this stuff they want. I know for certain that Drone Camps has been a household name inside DJI headquarters for pretty much 10 years, since 2013. I was a dealer. My store was a dealer. Absolutely to know who I am. And for some reason, I'm not on that. I even applied for being a tester about 3 different times. And now we have, like, my girlfriend, Mrs. Camps, is in marketing and advertising. She works at a TV station. She's really good at follow-ups and emails and promotions. And so now she's emailing DJI for me as well. So we're firing off all different angles. I even contacted one of the guys straight to his Instagram, and I haven't received a single message back from those guys. I don't know. Maybe myself and a couple other guys are on like their naughty list or something, but unless you're a total shill, it seems like you can't get on DJI's list. I don't know what that is. Something to do with I think it has to do with something like loyalty to the brand's loyalty. It's like, unless you're a total like samurai, you're not gonna get like free DJI stuff. I don't know what's up with that. I think they got pissed at me years ago for not being completely loyal to DJI, and it might have had something to do with me being a dealer for Unique as well. At the time, I sold Unique, Typhoons, and I sold Phantoms. And they had some lawsuits against Unique back in the days. So I don't know how I fit into that drama, but somewhere along the lines, they got weird. 413 asked what we're selling today. Man, 413, I'm selling Patreon. If you want to become a $2 Patreon, that would freaking make my day. I had one guy sign up so far in the live stream today, so I appreciate that. $2 a month will help me keep this channel alive because I'm a full-time content maker. So like Barbwell, I rely on you guys. And I like money to survive. If you're asking for a drone, 413, I'm going to put some new drones up this weekend in the quad shop. So go to dronecamps.com and refresh the page Saturday or Sunday, and I'll have some new drones in there for you. I still have my Unique Typhoon H as well. I got some parts for the gimbal because somehow I crashed and broke the gimbal. So stupid. The Typhoon H video was, it's okay. But I love that transmitter. It has full scale Android on there, touchscreen. The thing is dope. Oh, cool. Thank you, 413. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate the support. Trying to grow the army. The army is slowly growing. The Drone Camps army is like super loyal, and man, you guys go after the haters for me. I appreciate that. Whenever there's someone hating on the channel, the army steps up and goes after the haters. So I appreciate that extra support, man. Don't mess with the camps. But like Bardwell says, he posted something recently about haters. Some people are getting on him for not having a spotter or showing his spotter or whatever when he was doing some freestyle. Someone else was talking about it, that they had some haters. I think the guy had 56 views on his video or something. Someone was reporting him. Oh, sweet. Appreciate that, 413. But yeah, Barwell's saying if you have haters, then you've done something. You've become famous in any given field. Someone was bitching on XJet's thread that he posted when he was trying to start drama about me banning him from my live stream or the channel. He got banned somewhere along the way. I didn't ban him, but yeah, this girl was saying, oh, Drone Camp said he was a celebrity. That's why I stopped watching him. I never said I was a celebrity. Yeah, Steve, you know, whenever you're like putting your face on social media, you're always available to be attacked. So that's why some people they don't upload anything to the internet. They don't put themselves out there. And man, I've had my feelings hurt. I'm a person, like, for sure. Luis, micro playground reviews. Bro, I destroyed some micros back in those days, but man, those things were fun. We go out into the playgrounds when the kids weren't there and like just have stuff bouncing off metal poles. Trying to power loop stuff in like this little tiny fenced in area. It's like flying in like cage match flying FPV. There you go. Yeah, Steve, it's definitely like a muscle. Like once you tear those muscles, you repair them. And But I was telling Luis, we were testing out some of the audio one day. We were doing like a private live stream, trying to get this audio sorted. I was telling him, I was like, yeah, it's like, I think I'm becoming more like Trappy is. Like, Trappy's one of those guys in FPV. He doesn't give a fuck about what anyone says. Like that dude has probably more haters than anyone because of that whole FAA thing. Man, he was on flame for years. He might still have people pissed about that. Like RC airplane guys, you've mentioned the word drone at an AMA field, and you'd almost get kicked out at a certain point when the SHIT hit the fan. But Trappy doesn't care, man. He will cuss people out. And that's what I was telling Luis. I said, man, somebody like, I don't have to go there though. I don't have to cuss anybody out. They can't get that much of my attention. That's what they want. Little haters are begging for attention. Nobody knows who they are. If they get like someone like Barwell to make a comment back to them or defend themselves. A case in point, like the guy that was like trying to say, oh, you don't have a spotter. Whenever you have an accuser of anything, it's not up to you to defend yourself, because at the end of the day, the accuser prove it. So if that person could prove it, if you just see the video, that doesn't prove anything. A piece of video does not prove that someone didn't have a spotter, because a spotter could be within talking distance anywhere. So anybody that accuses you of anything, it's like, first and foremost, you got to have a way to prove something. If you're gonna accuse somebody of something, you better have some backup. Better come with backup, not just analyzing a piece of video, because you don't see what's outside the frame. Yeah, William said his dog's his spotter. Always got to have a spotter. Your neighbors. Neighbors are spotting your spy drone. Neighbors be spotting everything. You can't do a damn thing without your neighbors spotting you. Some neighbors are super nosy. Bro, Cortez, thank you. You just made my day. Did you seriously join Patreon? I gotta go look, bro. This means so much to me. Like, man. Oh, bro, you joined up for the $5 tier? Oh, bro, I appreciate you. Man, you guys might keep me going. All right, we're up to 254. That's freaking awesome. Thank you, bro. An Elvis impersonator neighbor called the cops on you. So my neighbor across the street, last year or the year before, my kids and I were out in the street doing some fireworks on 4th of July. And apparently in this neighborhood that we're in, not everybody, but maybe her family. And I don't own this house. This house is not mine. So I don't own the driveway. So we were doing fireworks in the street, right? It's 4th of July. My kids are doing some sparklers. We had some like snakes in the road. I did like a fountain. And like Portland is literally like rockets and all. I mean, they're doing fireworks until like 5 in the morning. You can still hear like rockets, bam, like all night long. It's actually, if you leave town on 4th of July, it's like a good thing. Go camping or something. Get out of there. It's quieter. But she threatened to call the cops on me because we were lighting off fireworks in the street. You know what I said? I was like, go ahead, call the cops. Tell them that we're lighting off fireworks in the street. Dispatch might be like, everyone is lighting off fireworks in the street right now, lady. Where else are you supposed to do it? In your yard? On top of your roof? On your neighbor's roof? I mean, come on. Where in the hell are you supposed to light off fireworks at besides the street? The best place to do it would be out on the beach, over the water. That's the place to do it. Man. You know, my landlord told me when I moved in, he said, do not talk to those people in that house over there. I've always been cool with them, though. She like bringing my kids over, like cookies and donuts and stuff. She loves the kids, but I don't think she cares for me. Got to make sure those donuts don't have poison in them or something. But thank you guys for signing up on the Patreon, man. That's awesome. Appreciate that. I feel like I should set a goal for like, man, I would love to be somewhere near where Bot Grinder is. Bot Grinder, I think like is around $1,000 a month. That would be freaking amazing. If I could get up to 500, that would be like super epic because that would help out a ton. And the thing with being self-employed is like, if you make a little bit here, you make a little bit there, make a little bit here, it all adds up into like, you know, a proper income. Otherwise, you got to go get a job. Don't touch it. That's right. Later, FPV, you're right, bro. Don't, yeah, it gets all over you. I feel the same way with friends. So like, you know, if it smells like it probably is, don't touch it, don't play with it, don't smell it, don't mess with it. Yeah, it's gonna get on you. You're gonna bring it home, track it all over the carpet when you walk in the door. And then start texting you at 3 in the morning. Yeah, over the river. That's right, out over the river. It's a good place. So at this point, we're pretty much just, you know, talking trash. But this has been a fun live stream. I need to, people told me years ago I need to keep promoting my Patreon. I don't want to come across as annoying. A lot of times I don't put up the tag in my videos, use the Patreon logo. But I might need to pay more attention to that since times are hard and I need to make sure I can pay bills this year. Otherwise, you're going to see me wearing a mailman hat pretty soon instead of this drone camp's hat. And drone camps may become my hobby instead of my job. But appreciate you, Steve. Thanks for hanging out with us today, bro. Enjoy your work day. It's Friday. It's Friday. Have a cold one tonight for us, and I'll have one for you. A big cheers to freaking everybody. I wish I had a cold. I should get one right now. It's noon. Can we have beer at noon? sell it $45? You crazy. $45. You know how much I paid to get my goggles too? There's a video of me walking out of Best Buy. I just paid $1,300 just to get the goggles too, so I could review the goggles too. Where are you, Luis? Man, I think you did, bro. We crossed paths for a reason, Luis. Man, you guys, I wish you guys knew how good a friend Luis is to me, man. Man, Luis was broke down in Nevada. I would come pick him up. Same with Diego. I would help Diego. I've gone across town and went and picked Diego up multiple times. He calls me, man, I got a flat tire. Come get me. All right. I'll be there in 15 minutes. Stop what I'm doing. It is about that time, Casey. Oh, bro. That and tacos at once? Let's go. Let's go. I want some birria tacos. I need to take you, Luis, to one of my favorite birria taco joints in Portland. We should get together this weekend and go to that birria taco place. And I could show you the Cholo store. Birds flying around, like dirt floors and like expired food for cheap. Like $1 for some like organic teriyaki sauce that normally in the white folks grocery store costs like $12. Costs $1 a bottle. I buy like 5 bottles organic barbecue sauce. Come on, at the Cholo store. Get the hoisin sauce, get all that sauce in there. I don't buy anything else except with condiments in there though. Don't mess with the meat department. I think I bought something out of the freezer one time and like it was like macaroni and cheese and just about poisoned myself. You gotta watch out in the Cholo store. Buy stuff that's completely sealed. Maybe chocolate's okay. A discount, like grocery outlet, but crazier, cheap, expired food. Because expired food is not necessarily bad. But botulism is not fun. I had a friend who made some, he made some ham bone soup or some bean soup or something like that, left that out on the stove overnight, and he had some for breakfast or lunch the next morning, and he had to go to emergency room. He got botulism. Bruh. It's like that's worse than like arming your quad on accident and causing that red liquid to run out of your fingers. Because it'll get you. Take your props off in the house, Johnny. Inside the house, working on the quad, take out the props. There's a new function in Betaflight, though. Well, not new, but it will not let you arm the quad on the bench unless you're in the motors tab and you say, I understand, and you do the check, and then it'll let you arm the motors if you're checking motor direction. Put a little piece of tape on your motor, see which way it flies, like a little flag. When it comes to a stop, you can tell which way it's going. And if you need to reverse it, you can go into BL Heli Configurator or BL Heli 2, 32. 32-bit ESCs, depending on which ones you have. Yeah, I would love to go to Tucson and check out some of the restaurants there. Also, I'd like to check out some in like Austin, Texas, and some of the barbecue in Texas. I'd like to check out some Texas barbecue. Some from North Carolina, we got different barbecue there. 413, no, I got the America still up for grabs, dude. If you go back and find that live stream, there's a price in there. I think it was like 200 something. But I was commenting earlier on this live stream that my America was probably one of the fastest quads I've ever flown. It's 100 miles, maybe 110 miles an hour on a 6S. It's fast. 6S 1050, this pack right here. Yeah. Bro, William, I need to make a separate playlist on this channel and do a couple recipes. Last night I did, I make everything from scratch pretty much. And that's the way I like to cook. And last night we did some Irish soda bread because you don't have to use yeast. If you want to make some cheap, quick bread and you don't have bread for a meal, you don't have to let it rise. You don't have to let it proof. They call it proofing in the baking world. It's basically baking soda, 4 cups of flour, a cup and 3/4 of regular milk or buttermilk, 1 teaspoon of salt, and it's a teaspoon of baking soda. Mix it all up together, knead it, put it on a baking tray, 425 for about 45 minutes. Bam! You got soda bread. It's got a real thick crust to it, and it's kind of a dense bread, but I mean, bro, you want to impress your friends? Make some bread. You want to impress a girl? Make some bread. You want to impress me? Make me some barbecue. Tomato paste in the chili? I'm from North Carolina. I'm gonna say yes with that, but someone from Texas can chime in and you know, put your 2 cents in, because I feel like Texas is where chili's from, but I would say yes on that. But you know, a secret ingredient in chili is probably not so secret, but some people put cinnamon in their chili batch. Who puts cinnamon in their chili? Just a little bit. You don't put a lot. Chicken marsala. I just made some chicken marsala a couple weeks ago. Oh, Luis, you made chili last night. Oh my God, bro. Can you drone deliver some of your chili to me? I will sample some chili from anybody in this chat who is of Spanish origin. Heck yes. Yes, please, says the white guy. Yeah, it's a good time for chili. It's freaking 36 degrees this morning when I took the kids to school. 36 degrees. Spring is coming. I keep saying it. Mrs. Camp says no, spring's not coming because she wants to ski still. She likes to ski. But there's plenty of snow in Oregon left over, so. I don't have a snowboard right now. I have to get another snowboard because I basically donated mine to a high school fundraiser. So now I have new boots, I have bindings, but I have no snowboard. So I gotta find I'm gonna find a used one probably, because I don't have $1,000 Patreon. But that money all goes back into the channel, not to my snowboard fund. They got some pretty good deals on boards online. Yeah, I wonder if Luis uses tomato paste. That soda bread was popping though. I got some left over. We're gonna have some of that for lunch. Korean chili flakes. Oh, snap, bro. You just told your secret, Luis? Chili de... I don't even know how to say that. Am I stupid or what? When it comes to Spanish or other languages, when you don't know how to say something, just try not, just don't do it. Just don't say it. If you want to make people laugh, say it. Good chili without the meat. Are you vegetarian, Joshua? It Tomato paste takes the wrinkles right off the forehead. Does it? I got some wrinkles up there. It's mostly hat head right now, though. Diced tomatoes, yeah. Yeah, I like to, one of my favorite things to do is I make a ragu. Like I'll start with tomatoes. Other times I'll use diced tomatoes out of can, but my favorite thing is to cook down the tomatoes. Cook them down, shock the skins off of them by putting them in cold water, and then basically throw them back in a cast iron pan or a pot. Pot's better because cast iron you're not supposed to put tomatoes in. Apparently, it's bad for it. The acid kind of messes with the metal, the iron. So I let that simmer like all day long, and then I'll make I make pasta from scratch. And I use a 48-inch rolling pin. I roll out my pasta by hand. I don't use machine. But you got to roll out pasta super thin. Like they say, if you can see this, see Michelangelo through the pasta when you hold it up on your rolling pin, if you can see light through it, then that's the right thickness. Hatch chilies. Oh man, tonight I don't know what's for dinner tonight. Last night we did a kind of an Irish dinner. We did like um like white beans and bread that I made from scratch. A lot of times I'll make my own soups and stuff. Soak the beans, but you're not. I was told recently they're not supposed to soak the beans overnight because if you soak them overnight, that's more chance for getting food poisoning from your beans, creating botulism bacteria in the. I don't see how if you cook them after that, it would matter, but apparently it matters. Um, so from an executive chef, I was told to soak your beans for an hour or two. Um, but if you don't work in a restaurant, probably maybe don't matter. You give yourself food poisoning, that's one thing, but when you're cooking for 50 people in a restaurant, they definitely don't soak them overnight. Yeah, there you go. I'm Justin Davison. You're going to learn something today about cast iron. Do not cook tomato sauce in cast iron. Pair that chili up with some cast iron cornbread. And my mom makes corny bread. She throws like a can of corn into the mix. And bro, you want to talk about some comfort food? Corny bread will set you straight. Yeah, pick and soak 1 hour. There you go. That's the way to do it. So you guys got to give it to me today. I got some hella live stream stamina. We're going on a 3 hour mark, you guys. And at this point, anybody that's watching or listening to this as a podcast later, cool, man. I appreciate you for still hanging in and listening to the podcast. Well, basically, we're just kind of hanging out at the end of this stream. And I haven't seen a lot of other channels really do that. They always kind of like they talk about the FPV stuff and then they bounce. And that's due to the fact that people have stuff to do. And I always do, but I always try to give you guys extra time just to hang out. So you always have a little bit of a hangout session. A little more, a little less formal. But I can be fancy, but I like to keep things laid back. Man, I got the munchies right now. I'm getting the contact and I got the munchies. Maybe I'm gonna make some chili tonight. You guys got me wanting chili or some birria taco. I might have to drive to that spot, but it's about a 25-minute drive to get to that birria taco spot. But it is, not really on the way to my daughter's school. What's up, Jocko? Welcome to the live stream. We've been live streaming now for almost 3 hours. 4 minutes to the 3 hour mark, man. I think my neck is hurting at this point. I got like neck fatigue. That's why I keep doing this. Been staring at this computer stream. So yeah, you can restart this stream. Check out all the FPV news. We had some fun stuff that we talked about today. Some crazy stuff's happening. We got some new prototypes. You can see the new SteadyView X that we talked about. And we also showed SkyZone's website, skyzonefpv.com. People have been Googling it lately and they've been coming up with some kind of crazy like carpet cleaning service in China. SkyZone didn't go out of business. There was some rumors that it did. I like to clear stuff up on the channel. Also clearing up some of the DJI Mini 4 rumors that have been circulating. There was a new, what appeared to be prototype leak of a DJI Mini 4, completely redesigned, looking kind of like a cross between like the Inspire 2, a Phantom, and it had an underslung motor design that came up like this. It looks way less packable than the original Mini format. I feel like the DJI Mini 4 will definitely have the same type of frame, maybe just somehow a little more streamlined. But that thing is like eggshell thin. It's amazing how light it feels in your hand. I'm assuming the next version will have maybe an updated battery. I like to see them include the long flight battery in the DJI 4 to get that like 45-minute flight time or whatever they advertise. I think that would be sick. I'm a fan of that DJI Mini 3 Pro. I love my Mini 3 Pro. I love that damn little thing. Under 250 grams. And the video is freaking nice. That's worth it. Like, if I was going to go on a trip right now, if I didn't want to bring goggles and just bring that RC transmitter, that and the drone, a battery, a charger, that's it. Because when I'm taking a big trip, like we went to Paris, I didn't want to deal with FPV goggles. I know some people would be like, heck no, man, I'm taking my FPV. But I had no problems getting on the plane with the Mini 3 battery. I had one battery. I had no problem with TSA. And you wouldn't have the problem with the Avata either. Even if it is like people ask me, do you have a problem bringing the US FCC version into France? And no, we did not have that problem. We didn't have a problem. You can change it from the FCC version to the European standard for your transmission, and then you'll be technically within their regulations. And I believe also once you land in Europe, depending on which country, you have to register yourself with their registration program. You just go to their website. That's what Google's for. The Mavic Mini, it's great. I still have my Spark. I still have a Phantom Obsidian that I'm trying to get going, but apparently my batteries died. I had like 3 Phantom 4 batteries and none of them worked after like 4 years. They might have all killed themselves. They might be programmed to like destroy themselves after so many years. Because they do have like a discharge, an automatic discharge. But Amazon sells, I don't even see that DJI sells Phantom 4 batteries anymore, but you can get them off Amazon. Some other company still makes some of those batteries, but I'd love to fly the Phantom 4 again. I think that was one of the best flying 1-inch sensor 4K drones out there. Thing's a beast, super stable. Cleared up version of a GPS too, versus the Phantom 2 flyaways, unshielded. But we're gonna hop out of the stream, guys. We're at the 3-hour mark now, so I want to celebrate that 3-hour mark and appreciate all you guys for joining up on Patreon. One last shout out about Patreon. So if I haven't convinced you by now, man, I suck. But I appreciate you guys for hanging out. Go get some food, everybody. Maybe we'll do a video coming up soon. Maybe we'll do some camps in the kitchen. I got some awesome bread recipes and stuff. Might have to fire up a new playlist. And check out the Discord server too, guys. Join up with the Discord server. Hop in there. That's free. You can get support. We're always talking about new stuff in Discord. Drone Camp's Discord's popping. Guys are in there every day, 24 hours a day. All right, later, FPV. Cody, you guys take it light. William, blind bonded, good to see you, bro. Quad shop is going to be updated on Saturday or Sunday, so refresh by Sunday night. You'll see some new toys in there to grab, up for grabs. Some good deals in there. And blind, if you're not on my Patreon, jump in, bro. $2 a month, new tier. Trying to do a fundraiser this month and save the Drone Camps channel. Camps in the kitchen. Heck yeah, man. We got some good eats. Maybe we'll do some barbecue or some chili. Maybe some type of bread. I do it all. All right, brothers. You guys all, yeah, man. Have a good weekend. Eric, everybody, thanks again for joining the live stream. I'll see you guys next week, all right? Or maybe in the middle of the week if I get time to do a live stream. I'll let you guys know in the announcements. You'll see that pop up now because we're giving you guys a heads up. Usually a day before, you'll see an announcement for the live stream. Peace, guys. Thanks a lot. I'll see you guys on the next one, okay? Take care. Everybody go fly. Go get something to eat and go fly.